Today is Sunday, January 18th, 2026, and this is episode 3 of Living Dirt Cheap with Canny Couple. I'm Julia,
And I'm Aaron.
and we are a debt-free family living on one income and without feeling deprived. And today we're talking about one money habit that has really quietly changed how we view our money.
Yeah, and this is something that she introduced me to.
It has, and it
Hmm.
is treating our savings like a bill.
Hmm.
And I will tell you, this is when we first started doing this, when we started budgeting, this was a struggle for us. This is something that we really have had to learn how to do. And we're going to talk about it and how we've actually had to grow into this and how we've had to grow this muscle over the years and what went wrong for us because this was not easy for us to really adopt over the years.
No, and it's hard to come up with a way to make sure that you are saving every month.
Absolutely.
So this is something that we definitely tried, from time to time, and then this finally got us,
Yes,
on a path.
absolutely. I think this is the reason Aaron thought that my ambitious savings rate was never going to work.
It 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 probably was.
It probably is because he was like, we couldn't save before. I mean, we were paying off debt.
Hmm.
We were really good at paying off debt, but we had a goal. When we were saving before, that we'll talk about it later. But and if you feel like this episode is going to be helpful for you or you get something from it, we would really appreciate it if you would share it with a friend or a family member or somebody that could help them. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, we would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So first, let's talk about the why. Why do we treat our savings like a bill? What do we mean by that?
So what we do, like budget wise, is have a line in the budget for these specific savings.
So what it means is it's not optional.
Right.
It's like a rent payment. It is like electricity. It is a bill.
Yeah.
It is one of these non-negotiables for us. That is what we mean when we say it's a bill. It is, something that we're going to pay ourselves every single month. And that's how we really look at it. We are paying our future selves
Hmm.
now. That is how we are really looking at it. We are paying not like we're paying Aaron and Julia for 10, 20 years in the future
Yeah.
for our future goals, what we want to do in the future, our future plans that we have made, whatever the purpose of that money is, whatever the goal for that money is going to be, that's the plan for that money. So we're paying ourselves forward. And that's, why it's a bill now. So that's why we treat it as a bill. Before, we didn't do that. We were like everybody else. We would just say, we would kind of have it in the budget. It was always a line item in the budget. We had $200. That was our number. $200 Discover Savings.
Yeah.
You remember
Yep.
that was it. Discover Savings, $200. And we'd always do it at the end of the month. And if anything happened, if anything was not left over, guess what? Did
It
not
got
get
it got
paid.
it got marked off, and it got
That's a
marked off a lot.
that was always the thing that got missed. Like
Yep.
everybody else, like if anything got missed, it was savings.
Mm.
And more often than not, half the time, guess what? Didn't get paid.
Yep. Savings account.
So it didn't have a purpose. It didn't have, like, we weren't treating it like we were paying ourselves for the future. It was just kind of like a leftover, whatever was left over at the end of the month.
Right. We'd move it over then.
So now we don't treat it that way. Now we treat it like we are paying ourselves. Like this is a bill we are paying ourselves in the future. And it really has changed it. It has so much. Like Aaron's like first thing in the month, he's like paying
Yeah.
us for the month. And it has really transformed how we view these
Yeah.
accounts.
And it's something I try to do. Maybe not the very first day of the month, but like the first weekend of the month
Absolutely.
is when I go in and
Our first budget meeting of the
mhm,
month.
and move that money from like a main checking account to, one of these savings or thinking funds.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always look at that. But I mean, It's really a mindset thing. It is. It's a mindset change. You completely sort of shift your mindset from viewing it as sort of an afterthought to like a payment structure. Like you really have to rethink how you look at it. So I would start small. Like what bill are you wanting to pay yourself for? Like an emergency fund, like savings bill. Do you need a new emergency fund? $10. Start small, whatever amount you can do. So kind of look at it that way. The sooner you start building this muscle, the sooner you can start building that habit. And this habit will help you so much. I wish we would have started this sooner. I
Yeah,
really do, because it would have helped us so much before. I
right.
mean, could you imagine if we would have been doing this from the beginning?
I know. I know. The only one that we probably did do from the beginning was the emergency
Always. We
fund.
always did the emergency fund. It's always been there. We were always so good about that. We very rarely skipped it because we're gonna talk about that in
Okay.
just a minute. Um so we built it into the budget. It was a line item. This is the next thing. This is so important because Aaron mentioned that. It's a line item in the budget. It has its own place.
Yeah.
It lives in our budget. It's a living piece of the budget. So our budget has transformed and changed over the years. Your
A
budget
lot.
should change over the years. You grow, you learn. It shouldn't stay static. No budget should ever stay static because you change. Your budget grows with you. Something should always be changing with your budget. If nothing else, your prices go up, your prices go down.
Yeah.
Something's changing somewhere. We looked back at our budget from 10 years ago. We were
It's
surprised to see that our grocery bill was $200 10 years ago. Which was crazy because we were not eating nearly the way
mm-mm.
we are eating now. Um, we were buying way worse foods 10
Yes.
years ago. So I was shocked to say that it was $200 back then. Um, but once you decide to treat it as a bill, you put it in there as a bill. So whatever you're using to build your budget, a spreadsheet, pen and paper, an app, you're going to put it in there, emergency savings bill,
Yeah.
or vacation savings bill, or big debt payoff bill. However you're doing this, if you're wanting to put a big chunk towards your debt to see like a big amount come off, whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
you're gonna put it into your budget like that.
Yeah. And for us, like we do that for the emergency fund, um, vacation, and we've got a book fund, for example,
We
that
do.
we even do that for.
We do it for retirement
Hmm.
savings, our brokerage account, all of that. Now, where we went wrong before, we mentioned this, was our general savings fund when we first started. It was just a savings fund. These funds didn't really have a purpose. They
Right.
were
We
just
didn't have a goal
savings.
for them, or
We didn't have a
yeah,
goal. Now, did we just go and spend that cash on anything? No.
no,
But now that those funds actually have a purpose, they have a goal. We've allocated them towards something. But before we didn't have a reason to be saving. Now we do.
yeah.
And we are very goal oriented people,
We,
which matters.
I love to see goals achieved.
He does. He does. He likes
Like,
to see those numbers, and he loves, I think, the calculator
hmm
is what really drives him, because when we were paying off debt, to see the debt calculator, to see the money move, and now that we're working on other goals, to see the investment calculators, those money moves, it drives you further,
right,
doesn't it?
yeah, yeah, it does. I
It
have to see progress.
he does. He does. He likes to see it. He likes to go in and look at it. That progress helps move him forward.
Hmm.
And but when you have a goal for those assets and you list them specific, it needs to be a specific goal. This is where I would get specific in your budget. I would not be general.
Like, are you saving up for a new car, for example?
Exactly. Car fund, car savings. I would put that there and make sure it's listed. You know what that is. You can put savings and break it out.
Hmm.
Like if you want one account for savings, it's like, okay, I have $500 going into savings. And that might be steep for a lot of people. We understand that this is just general. We have $500. We're going to do 100 into emergency and 100 into this and 100 into three other different categories, and you're going to break it down in your spreadsheet, but you want one savings account, then you can kind of break it apart the way you need to break it apart.
And we've done it both ways. We've done it with, um, like she just explained there, or we have set up separate savings accounts. So if you need to see that,
Individual.
individually.
It's really based on what
Hmm.
you need to see. Like, do whatever you need to do based on however you need it. If you need one account because having multiple accounts stresses you out, do one account, just kind of keep it separated. If you need to have those funds in a different account just to keep you from going in and grabbing them, keep them in a separate account. Whatever you need to do. But give every dollar that job. There is a reason for that. Every dollar needs to have a purpose in a job. You need to make sure you have that focus because that's where we failed before. We weren't saving that money because we didn't have a reason to save.
Right. Right.
That was our problem.
Yep.
We didn't really have a purpose for that. Now we have a reason, we have a purpose. So we're making sure it's getting done every single time. So it really has worked for us. I mean, it's worked better for us than it ever has before. And I think once we had set that goal and we gave our money that purpose, that reason, it changed everything for us.
Hmm.
It really did. That purpose, that reason made all the difference in the world for our budget.
Yeah.
And I don't think we realized that at the beginning. It just depends on the kind of personality, the kind of budget, how you like to look at things. We're goal oriented people, we're systems oriented people, process oriented. That tends to be how we like to look at our budget and view it. So when we're goal oriented, that's kind of how our budget tends to lean, and it makes it easier for us to push the needle forward when we are doing a goal oriented budget. So we stopped looking at it as an afterthought. It became the forethought, not the afterthought. So if you're starting this, even if your numbers are little, tiny numbers, that's fine.
Hmm.
I started off with an itty bitty little emergency fund, but it did build up very fast, very quickly. And I don't know where we would have been if I hadn't had my little
Right.
emergency fund.
Right. Right. Stuff like that. It definitely can help in dire situations for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So next is automation. So we tell automation, a lot of people need that. They really do. They need that automation. They need that to automatically happen. Now, Erin is not a fan of automation. I am personally. I like it. I was set up on automation. Erin likes to do it himself.
Right, because I see it moving over. I mark it off on the spreadsheet, sort of. Um,
He likes to do it.
hmm.
It's his checklist.
Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. That's my
It
checklist.
is. It is. It's
And
boring. It's the boring part of this. It's the boring part of this part of the job. But it is.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, so you can some banks you can set it up to do it automatically. Move over some amounts, but I know a lot of them anymore. Um, they don't like to do that as much
Most of the
because
time, it's to your employer.
well, see, my employer doesn't allow that.
See, I had
So,
to do it through
right,
my
your
employer.
employer did allow that because it cost extra money to send it to different things. So
Hmm.
they like to have it go to one account, for example. So, I mean, some of the banks do have the automations like you can say, hey, I want to make this transfer a reoccurring transfer. So you can do that. But some of them do charge for so many transfers as
We
well.
we did have to go. You might have to go in person because if
Hmm.
we want to make changes to like our Christmas club account, we do have to go in person to make changes to that. So because we do have that Christmas club account
Hmm.
set up, and it does help make life easier because Christmas comes every time every year. We have that set up. So you might have to go make those changes in person. So just know your bank, know the rules. And depending on the type of account it is, like he said, there could be fees associated with it. Like I know our bank, it's like if you move it, what, 6 times a year? or something like that, you get hit with a penalty, like from a
if
savings account.
if you move from a savings to a checking 6 times. Now, if you go the opposite way, checking to savings, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. You
Hmm.
can do that all you want to, but you can't move from the opposite way around.
Right.
It does matter. So make sure you know the rules.
Yeah.
Know your rules before you do this. They're doing this to encourage you not to move the money from savings to checking. That's the goal here. So the big picture here. So you're going to focus on tracking. What are you tracking? So we like to track our savings rate. We've talked about this in other videos. So we currently have a savings rate of around 50 to
Hmm.
60% depending on the month. And I'll tell you, you don't need a really crazy spreadsheet to do this. Aaron,
I, I like to have a lot of graphs and stuff to
he
see it
does.
in different ways. So for us, I do it, a lot of pie graphs, um, for example, to see it in different methods. Um, but that's just my personal preference.
It does help. So depending on what you're looking at, what you're seeing, what you like to see. For me, that visual of seeing that pie graph to see how much you're actually saving versus how much you're spending, it does really kind of give you a full picture, a visual picture of what you're seeing, what you're looking at for your financial world. And it's kind of eye opening. It's more than just seeing the numbers. When you see the pie graph, it changes. You can see the numbers all day. Once you see the pie chart, something inside of you just changes.
Yeah, yeah. And most of the free Excel knockoffs, as you could call them, do have the ability to set up pie charts. LibreOffice, for example, if you're using Google Sheets, that does as well.
Yeah, and you can always, Google how to set those up
Hmm.
or figure out
Or
how to
or
do
you
it.
can ask AI.
Or you can ask AI how to do that. They'll give you spit out that formula. And how you figure out your savings rate. So we look at it, you can look at it month to month, but I would tell you to look at it more on an annual basis. So, because an annual basis is going to give you a more clear view, because month to month might give you more of a skewed view. So, I would definitely tell you to look at this more at an annual percentage base, especially since we're in January right now. So, if you really want to get a more, full picture, I would go look at 2025 saving rate because you can make really big changes in 2026 if you look at 2025. So, you're going to want to look at your income, your bills, and your savings. You're going to write those numbers down. And you're going to take your savings and divide that by your income. And that's really how you get your savings rate. It's that easy. And it works. You can also probably find a calculator.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
lots of things online.
There's many of those calculators
Just
out there.
look it up online, like, hey, how do I find my savings rate? Like, search online, you can find something that'll spit that out. I'm sure if you're using an online budgeting app, you should be able to find all that information as well.
Right.
um and here's the thing, whatever your number is, this is not a beat yourself up number.
Mm-mm.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key. This is to help you figure out where you stand. This is okay, here's where we are. We have a savings rate of 20%. That's a good savings rate.
Where do you want to be?
Where do you want to be? I'm
How do you
okay
get
with
there?
20%.
I guess
Like, that's where you thought we would be.
it was.
You were like, 20% is good. Okay, that's fine. Or maybe your savings rate is 1%. I mean, maybe your savings rate is negative 2% and you have 10 credit cards and you're trying to figure out how to dig yourself out of a hole. I know a lot of people are there and they're trying
Yeah.
to figure that out right now. So it all depends on your financial situation, what your goals are, what you're trying to do. Knowledge is power. So that's really key here. Getting that knowledge, having an understanding, and it's not a beat yourself up. It's really just
Well,
understanding
and
where you are.
and then work on changes, improvements to move it up by 1%, 2%, you
A
know?
little bit. What can we change now just to get us up a little bit? Every little bit helps. It really does.
Hmm.
And people discount the small percentages all the time. Listen, the $1,000 I saved on cutting Aaron's hair for 6 years, we never laugh at that
No,
or joke about that. And I'm even going so far as to cut my little one's hair for the next
she,
6 to 8 years.
she asked for it.
I mean, that's where we're going. And so it's nothing to sneeze at. Just the little savings that really do add up. And just to look at your numbers a little bit different. Whatever's going to motivate you to make the changes you need to make, because the little ones will motivate you to start making bigger and bigger changes as you go along your financial journey. So what do you do when life kicks you in the teeth? This happens happens
Happens
a
to
lot.
everybody.
It does. Last year, within like a month, Aaron had two big car emergencies.
Yep.
The deer were fine. The deer were fine.
But the cars
We're
took
not.
damage.
The cars were not. The deers were fine. Real life happens.
Hmm.
It really does. And, we're talking about having savings treated like a bill. And so you're like, Julia, so real life happens and you've already used all your excess cash. What do you do then? It's what we have emergency funds for. It's what we have our budget. We look at our budget. We make wiggle room in our budget when we have to. But that's what that extra cash is for. It's what we have that margin for
Yeah.
in our budget.
Yeah.
That's why we have it.
Right. And I mean, sometimes to get it back up, it requires more cuts, and some
It
of those
does.
make it even harder, you know.
It might be a month where guess what, we're eating
Yeah.
cheaper dinners.
Yeah.
We're cutting back on the groceries, and we're gonna be eating cheaper, sandwiches for lunch for the next couple weeks, peanut butter and jelly, or whatever, which my little one won't complain. she Aaron might, but the little one won't complain. But we make the sacrifices, you make the changes, you might need to sell a few things, yard sale, hustle, do something that, you
Right.
know,
Right. Anything
outside the normal.
anything to bring in a little extra
Cash
cash.
on the side,
Yeah.
whatever it takes, whatever it takes. But for us, we still feel like this is worth it because these goals are so important to us in this season of our life.
Mm-hmm.
They're so important to us that it's just, we have to treat them like a bill. We have to.
Because if we don't, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Absolutely not. So, I mean, that's why they're there. So what can you do today, right now, to really start this? So, first things first, pick one savings bill, an emergency fund, a vacation fund, whatever it is that you want to start treating as a savings bill.
Yeah.
Make sure you define it. Make sure you're clear. If you have a partner, make sure you're communicating with your partner. This is very, very important. Don't
Yeah.
just do this without open communication and talking and building this into the budget. This is
Because
vital and key.
if you don't tell the other one, they're like, "Oh, hey, there's $1,000 in that account. I'm gonna move it over right quick."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. um, so be honest, but also be realistic. Don't think, oh, well, we'll just start saving $2,000 every single month. Like, make sure you actually have $2,000 of margin in the budget before you actually do it. It might be $10, it might be $20, it might be 50.
Right.
But as you start going through this, like we're in January, you can really start this in February.
Yeah.
And you can really
And
start to see, like, we have a whole year and you can make changes throughout the year. We've done this many, many a times
we've redid the budget many a times.
throughout the year.
Throughout the year, maybe by quarter. We've done it half a year, anything like that. But
I,
this time of year, like starting it right now, cold weather, winter, you're probably not doing as much right now. You're probably being around the house some more. It's probably a little easier to save a couple extra bucks
It
right now.
absolutely is. You can kind of start building it in there, especially for February, for March. You can kind of get that worked in there. $20, whatever this savings bill is, and let us know. Email us, Leave it in the
Mm-hmm.
comments if you're on YouTube. We want to hear what your savings bill is. We want to hear your name, what your savings bill is. We want to hear what it is. But be honest and realistic with your dollar amounts,
Don't
because
don't go extravagant
don't
in
go
there.
extravagant or extreme unless you can.
Right.
Unless you can. But be realistic with what you actually have to spend. Make it a line item in your budget. That's step number 2, because this is how you're actually going to put it into play. Whatever app you're using, if you're using an app, if you're using
Spreadsheet, paper.
Excel, paper, whatever you're doing, put it in there, get it written down. I actually just told Aaron, even if you already have a budget, go ahead and get it in. I actually just told Aaron today, I said, you need to add something to the budget
Yep.
today.
Yep.
And he's like, what? I'm like, yep, you need to add something to the budget. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just another line because it's sort of just like we were talking there. It's just gonna, mess up, not go in the right spot. We'll forget about it. We ain't gonna track it just as well. So add it in.
Add it in. It works right now. This is a good time to put it in. Automate. Go ahead and set up your automation. You need to figure out what your bank is, how your bank does automation. You need to do all of that now. Now's a good time to do it. Well, maybe not right now because most banks are going to be closed the next couple of days. But figure out your next step. Get online, look at the bank, see what you need to do to actually set up those automations, or talk to your employer.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you need to do, get that set up however much you can do. Automate. Get that figured out. And if you need to automate, if you can actually set it up to do it yourself, go that route like
Yep.
Aaron does. If Because he does do it by the budget meeting. That's his time he does his automation, but most people probably need that automation. Most people need that taken off. I would need that taken off of me because I would forget. Like, do not put that on me. That's one more thing. I've got too many other things I have to do in my
Yeah.
day. Do not put that on me to remember to do that. Just, it needs to be done for me. And then number 4, calculate your savings rate for your own awareness.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, to just see what your numbers are, to see if make sure you're not in the negative, especially, because if so, you definitely have to do some cutbacks there. And if nothing else, it might help you get out of debt.
Absolutely. So, if you do these 4 things, your future self is going to be thanking you. Like, this is how you start to treat your savings like a bill.
Yeah.
This is like your first, like, real step into changing your habits of, treating savings as an afterthought, to really looking and treating your savings like, man, this is how we really start being intentional and thoughtful with how we use these savings. Because I will tell you, this has completely transformed us.
Yeah.
It completely has changed how we use our money, because this was what I was most worried about when we started doing our Roth savings, because we had a good savings rate, but I was really worried because we did so bad before.
Right. Right. But we put it as a line
We
item
put
in
it
our
as a line
budget.
item and we treated it as a bill.
Yeah.
And that changed everything for us. And we had a goal. And I realized at that point, when we associate something with a goal, and this is it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to have a goal. And when that has a goal, we are such goal driven people. When it has a goal attached to it, we become laser focused on it.
Right. Right. I mean, that's just our personalities there.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
We just become so intent.
Yeah.
So for for us, this is just one of those things. It has just really helped us. It's made so much more intentional,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really pushed the needle forward on our finances.
Yeah.
And we really do hope it helps you as well, because we want to see everybody succeed.
Yep. Yep.
And help everybody, stop treating savings like an afterthought and start treating it with more intent, and start treating it more like, a bill.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you want to, catch us on other things, you can go over and check out our link tree / the Canny Couple. You can find us on all of the other sites. and we're pretty much on most of them. And if we're not on one, just let us know. We might join that as well. You know, but also make sure, you know, if you're following us on any of um, YouTubes or anything like that, for example, that you know, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. And
Email.
oh, the Canny Couple at yahoo.com if you want to email us on anything as well.
And thank you for joining us on Living Dirt Cheap, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy our frugal life.